Alright girls, hi. I'm going to do the best I can in terms of doing a little short video just in terms of distance, speed and time and the introduction, the first part of the chapter. This part is really, really important, especially if you're planning on using your calculator to do some of the distance, speed and time for you. So just to make sure everybody is able to convert between 12-hour clock and 24-hour clock. 12-hour clock is the clock that you would have learned when you learned to read the time. So when you were in junior school, when you were in primary school, you would have learned the 12-hour clock. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And literally it's a 12-hour clock. So once you get to midday, you go from midday to midnight and then back around again, and it's just a repeat. If you're using the 12-hour clock, it's really important that you're either putting PM or AM beside them. But to be able to use the calculator, then you're going to have to convert to 24-hour clock. And for a lot of the exam questions, they'd use the 24-hour clock. So just, I suppose I've gone through a little basic how to convert here. So 1 o'clock is 1300, 2 o'clock is 1400, 3 o'clock is 1500. This 24-hour clock is the one that's used for flights, for boats, for trains, cinema, etc. So this side of the clock is probably as important as this side, even though we don't really focus in on it, especially in primary school. So to convert, so if the number is bigger than 12, you're going to take 12 away from it. So for example, if I said to you, your show Home and Away starting 1930, how do I work out what time that is in the 12-hour clock? It's bigger than 12, so I take 12 away from it. So it's 19 minus 12 is 7, and then you add your 30 minutes back on. Sorry guys, I'm not sure if the video came through there. So you've got 1930, and then that's the same as 7:30 p.m. Again, to convert then, if you have 0330, this is not bigger than 12. So you don't take 12 away, and that means that it's just 3:30 a.m. And there's no conversion needed. Over here on the 12-hour clock then, if you want to change from here to here, you do the opposite. So whereas here you were taking away 12, here you're going to add 12. So for example, 4 p.m, you add 12 on, because it's the 12-hour clock, and 12 plus 4 gives you 1600 hours. That is really important then again, if you're, like I say, if you're trying to use your calculator to do a couple of the calculations for you. So in your textbook, if we're looking at page 345, I'd urge you now to try a couple of the questions for me, girls. And then this work would be due on Thursday, we'd say. So we're on page 345, and I'm going to ask you to do question 1, 4, 7, 8, 13 and 11. Okay, so they're circled. And that's the first part of what I'm going to ask you to do. The second part then is where you're going to use your calculator. Now, you should all have a Casio calculator. I'm pretty sure you do. And just to show you how you can use time on that system to be able to take away particular numbers. So you'll see we're looking more so at these type of questions here, where I'm trying to take away numbers. Now, you can do it by all means working out your basic understanding of a clock. So for example, 12 hours minus 9 hours is 3 hours. But when you've got 13 minutes minus 44 minutes, it can be hard to fully judge as to what you're trying to take a look at there. So there is a button on your calculator, and I'm sorry now girls, but I probably don't have the same calculator as all of you, in that a lot of you probably have the black calculator, but the button will be the same, and it normally is in under the fact button here. So for example, if I'm putting in 12, so my camera skills are not great, but 12 hours and 13 minutes, and I'm taking away from that 9 hours and 44 minutes, and I press equals, that's a difference of 2 hours 29 minutes. Now we roughly knew 12 minus 9 was 3, so 2.5 hours or so makes sense, and that's how you, I suppose, judge that your times or your answers make logical sense in terms of what you're taking a look at. There are a couple of more examples again then in terms of the book, but I definitely ask you to take a look, I suppose, at converting and working out different times. So I have done on this page question 15, and I took a look at part E. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at F, G, H, I and J for me, and that will be due along the same time. The next little part then here comes from first year, but again, you're going to be using distance, speed and time. So you're going to be converting between times, for example, between minutes and hours, or days and hours, but you're also going to be converting distances. So the conversions for distances are quite important. The most common conversion then will be from kilometres to metres, or the other way round. This K always means the same thing. So whether you're converting distances, or whether you're converting, we'd say weights, for example, kilograms and grams, that K always means the same. It means 1,000. So kilo means 1,000, which is a useful piece of information. If you can decipher the language, it'll make it a little bit easier for you. So if you're going from kilometres, we'd say 2 kilometres, and you want to convert it to metres. Well, you kind of have to use your little bit, I suppose, of your common sense and think to yourself, which is going to be further? Well, kilometres is obviously a lot further than if you were to convert in metres. So to go from kilometres to metres, you're always multiplying by 1,000. So in this case, it would be 2 by 1,000. So you'd have 2,000 metres to travel. If you're going for metres, then it's the other way around. So we'd say I have 1,600 metres. We say I'm doing a race and it's a 1,600 metre race, which I'm pretty sure, I'm not athletic as you know, I'm pretty sure there's no race that's a 1,600 metre race. But if I wanted to convert that from metres to kilometres, then I would go the opposite way, because I know the number should go smaller. So to be divided by 1,000, it would be 1.6 kilometres. I'm pretty certain there is no race of 1.6 kilometres. So that should help you in terms of conversions. So the last part of the work then that I'll ask you to do, girls, is to take a look at question 16 and 17. And again, you don't need to do all of them. We'd say we do A and C and A and C of the next part. Okay. To submit the work then to me, girls, so this is work that I'm assigning for you on Wednesday morning, because we wouldn't be in school Monday and Tuesday. So I'll assign this work for you on Wednesday, and I'd ask that this would be ready for me on Thursday morning. So if you can just take a picture of your page with your answers and just comment on the Edmodo account in underneath the post. So if you just comment with your picture, that's what my second years are currently doing, and it seems to be working quite well. That should mean that I can have a quick look and see that we're all okay and ready to move on. And then we'll move on. I'll post a video for you on Thursday where we start just briefly taking a look here now in terms of, I think this is a train timetable, etc. And we're not going to spend a huge amount of time on them. We'll take a look at a couple of questions, and then we'll start taking a look at distance, speed and time and using this formula. So we'll probably do a video on both of those on Thursday and assign you a little bit of work, and that keeps you moving on distance, speed and time. Again, girls, if you need something or you need you have a question, etc., please ask. I'm also going to post I'm trying to think of the easiest way for me to do it. I'm going to post the constructions that we have already done at this stage. So you've already taken a look at all the constructions. But just in terms of revision, they might be a nice, useful one to do in terms of revision for you now. So I'm going to post videos with all of the constructions on your Edmodo page over the next few days. And they're just taking a look at you at revision. And I'll assign a day maybe where I ask to see a sample of each one. At the end of next week, if we're still in this situation, we'll wait and see. If we're back to school the week after next, there'll be no need for that. If there's anything, as I say, you need, just give me an email or drop me a message on Edmodo. I'll pick it up as often as I can. You know, I'm at home, girls with a toddler, so it may not be during class times I'm doing it. But I'll pick it up if not then in the evening, or somebody else might comment in the class and have the answer for you. Best of luck, girls, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.